Okay. All right. I get it. Arnold Schwarzenegger versus Dorian Yates. And of course, there is much to talk about during this comparison. We could do some Arnold impressions. We could do some Dorian Yates impressions as well. But we are going to be serious. There has been some advancements, of course, throughout the history of bodybuilding. But you can also take a look at 1974 versus 1992. And you can see yes, there is advancements, like I said, but there is also declines in bodybuilding. Yes, we have more shredded bodybuilders, but we give up the big man's manly chest. Look at the size of that thing. He probably knocked about 4 pies into him the day before at the House of Pies slapstick, and it just made his chest busting full. And we also gave up those gray big arms in order to see more conditioned bodybuilders. What an intro. Stuff of legend. Let's go to the poses, the beautiful bean footage. Front double biceps. Oh my soul! You can really see that great big man's chest, plus those arms. Lats, I will suggest also. Arnold, if you did watch my torso, or rather clavicle, with video, you noted that Arnold Schwarzenegger, his clavicle was wider than anyone's. Even Big Lou, and Lou was taller than him, so you compare him against Yates, who had a pretty wide clavicle for his time, and you can clearly see that structures, arms, chest, lats, Arnold is eating Dorian up. Look at that. Unbelievable. They were supermen. And then we go downstairs, down to the wheel department. And Yates, he's a smaller guy, keep that in mind. His wheels look to be maybe the same measurement, shorter. They look bigger. His calves look bigger and better as well. So, lower half, there really can be no argument. So, condition-wise, kind of throwing that out the window, because you can't tell with these old pictures. I'll tell you right now, Yates was more thin-skin conditioned than Arnold. You don't knock 7 or 8 pies into you with Franco. Come on, Franco, my little buddy, let's eat pies. You don't do that and look as shredded as Dorian Yates. He hadn't seen a pie in months, nor a potato. I'd like to get a good ice cream is what I want. Maybe a good steak also. And maybe some chips, which you Americans call fries. I don't know why. Ah, yes, the front lat spread. A chance for Dorian Yates to show Arnold that it's not a front double biceps pose contest. And as good as Arnold looks, because he had a respectable ensemble of poses. Well, repertoire. Not really. I just wanted to say ensemble. Ensemble. He was pretty good in the front lat spread is what I'm saying. Not bad at all. But Dorian Yates, he's Dorian-esque. Who else would be Dorian-esque but Dorian Yates? Look at the way those lats just revolve around him like a big round. It looks like the bottom of the CN Tower, for goodness sakes. And of course, winning in the wheel department. Here's another little notch. You can, if you guys have those little pads of paper, you can start writing stuff down if you'd like. And then, winning condition, legs, and even in the upper half. So this is a blowout. Whereas the front double, Yates was still winning on a couple of aspects. So you guys keep that in mind. Here's the side chest, and I'm gonna take a whole page to write about the big man's chest and arms. And Arnold had good calves, apparently. From the front, they weren't as good as Yates. But he had a big old piece of cow, big old steak back there. Hunk of meat, if you will. So, many ways, guys. Arnold, it's a man versus a very, very conditioned young, I don't want to call Yates a boy. I think that's illegal. It's illegal. What you are doing is illegal. That was on DC Cab, by the way. Go to the back shots, for goodness sakes. And yeah, I I could talk all day long about that side chest, but really, there's no way Arnold's touching Yates in condition, and no way Yates is touching Arnold in size, substance. Now the back is, you Yates, I don't want to say it's close, because you Yatesites, or Dorianites, rather, I apologize. You guys will click away and hit thumbs downs. You'll come back later to comment, hate, something of that nature. But look at Arnold's back. He is the Austrian oak. He trained very hard. Diligently, maybe. Trained hard. All 73 after the Olympia, in order to look his very best for the 1974. Oh, and you can clearly see, guys, his back. And you remember Pumping Iron, he had the best back up there, I think. So Arnold's back, not too shabby. Yates winning on condition again. But come on, guys, respect to the oak. Here's the rear lat. But this is from 1971. Arnold, he was good that year, but he was nowhere near as big and maybe even conditioned as he was in 74. So kind of unfair to use this. Actually, it wasn't DC Cab when the guy said that is illegal. That was the one where the guy was dead, but he wasn't dead. Weekend at Bernie's or something of that nature. DC Cab was a different movie. You want to light yourself a cozy little fire? That's from DC Cab. But anyway, you could talk all day long, guys, but you're not going to convince me that Arnold is beating Dorian in maybe even either of the back shots. To be honest with you, Dan, it was a little easier to believe Arnold was beating him, though, when we could actually see that rear double. It was impressive, that Christmas tree. Ooh, who's winning the abs and thigh? I mean, yes, I joked about Arnold knocking a few plates of brownies. Not just a brownie. He didn't eat a brownie. He ate a whole tray. That was what he called a brownie. I ate half a brownie last night, he'd say. You'd think he didn't eat much. Yes, but the tray was huge. But anyway, his stomach looks flat, is what I mean by this. He did knock all those pies into him, but I don't know where he put them. Yates, maybe not as good in the midsection, but make no mistake about it, people. People. This is an abs and thigh pose, and Yates hit it far better than Arnold, I would suggest. I mean, there's a couple of pictures of Arnold in 1980. His wheels look pretty small in comparison to the big old waistline, so I would suggest that this scary face of Dorian Yates would defeat. Look at the face on him. Looks like Atlas from Astro Boy. I always say that, and I will maintain that. Here's the most muscular. Arnold. You can definitely tell, guys, he is slightly slender in the wheel department, even though for 74 he was good. For its time, this was good. But his upper body's bigger than everybody's, not even close. So you could suggest that the proportions, Terry, is it? Never mind. Terry, a little hungover today. One too many drinky poos last night. Tucker. All right. Prick. A little bit angry, too, I would suggest. So, fellacies, two of the greatest of all time. Advancements from 74 to 1992. The sport didn't just stand still. It advanced. Not so much in the muscle size, except for the wheels. The proportions were getting better, I would suggest. Maybe we wanted bigger wheels. We thought that their legs were a little too small in the 70s, perhaps. And when I say us, we, I mean the bodybuilding judges, the criteria, the whole community. I'm sure when they seen Flex Wheeler pop those big quads out there, they thought, okay, all right, we get it. Big upper bodies and big lower bodies. So many will maintain that they would rather look like Arnold. Walk on that beach. Of course he would. Great big man's chest. Dorian, he's a specimen too, size-wise. He'd get attention size-wise, but as a sport, as a contest, if you don't want to call it a sport, as an actual contest, I mean, what do you want me to tell you? Yates would beat Arnold Schwarzenegger, the greatest of all time? I'm sure he would. If they brought Yates back in 1974, he wouldn't. I guess they wouldn't know what that was. Why is he so conditioned? It's too distracting, they'd say. We're gonna pick Arnold. So yeah, depending on when they get judged. Can't judge it. Hit thumbs up on the video. Have a great one, guys.